Hey guys, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how to tweak your Cricut machine so that you can get these beautiful clean cut electronic cuts using your Cricut and our SVG cut file for our transformation stamp set. We're going to start off by going into Cricut Design Space and then upload that transformation coordinating cut file. Now you're going to ungroup this grouped image and just delete everything but this shape, and then I'm going to copy and paste this 3 times so that I have 4 shapes total. Then I'm going to click the Make It button, and now we have this screen. Now I'm just going to click on the top right arrow icon and rotate each of my shapes so that these 4 images can better fit a 9 by 12 piece of watercolor paper. And the paper that I'll be using is Canson XL 140-pound cold press paper, and I have 9 by 12 inch pads, so I'm just going to take out one of the sheets, stick it onto my Cricut mat, which I will then feed into my machine. Now this is the next window. The dial is set to custom material, so this is the window that you're going to see. I have the heavy watercolor paper already favorited, but if you don't, just click here on the right to browse materials, scroll down, and then go to material settings, and again scroll all the way down and click on the heavy watercolor paper. The normal setting that it's on is usually 327, but I increase it just a little bit, and this setting is usually off. That's the default, but I increase it to 2 times. So you can increase it by toggling these buttons right here, but I put it on 331 and set it to cut twice. Then I save this. If you want to favorite this option, you can go back and you can see that as you highlight whichever material, a star on the right appears. When you click on that star, it'll turn yellow, and that means that you have favorited that option. Once the settings are saved, I'm going to click on the watercolor paper option, and now my Cricut is going to get ready to cut the paper that's already on my mat and loaded into the machine. And now it's going to start cutting my watercolor paper. So this clip is mid-cut. It's already cut the first time around, and now it's cutting the second time in the same exact spot because we changed that cut option to 2 times. If you had kept this at the default option or setting, it would have just cut it once and you wouldn't have gotten a really nice clean cut. So once this has cut twice, I'm going to unload the mat from my machine and peel away the negative layer, and now I have 4 gorgeous clean die cuts that I cut with my Cricut. I'm going to do a little bit of embossing and watercoloring in the second half of this video. So I set up my MISTI, and here I have a negative piece with this butterfly image already cut out inside. There's another image in the transformation SVG cut file, and this is the embossing placement guide that I've included in the file. So what you're going to do is cut that out of cardstock or watercolor paper or whatever you want, and then you're going to save the negative piece to use it as a placement guide when you're embossing. It's much more easier to mass produce emboss pieces when you have this negative piece and your stamp already placed inside your MISTI. If you didn't have that negative piece, you'd have to rearrange or place your stamp or paper every time that you go to emboss. But if you have this negative piece, it makes embossing very, very easy and convenient. I've gone ahead and gold heat embossed this beautiful transformation butterfly image onto my die cut piece, and now I'll do some wet in wet watercoloring using Ken Oliver color bursts. I started off by wetting this floral with clean water, and now I dropped in a little bit of Prussian blue color burst pigment into my petals, and then I'll just blend that color out to the edges of each petal, and I'm going to continue the process until I'm happy with the contrast and depth that I've achieved. I'll continue painting the rest of the florals on this image using the same wet and wet technique. And I used 2 colors. I used the Prussian blue for the first 3 flowers, and then I switched off to orchid color bursts for these other types of flowers that you see. And for the leaves, I'll use sap green. Now, the images in this entire transformation butterfly image really aren't that large, but if you use fine tip brushes, you can get some really beautiful depth. So all you need is a little bit of patience and some fine tip brushes. Now I'm going to go ahead and color in the left portion of this image, which is the butterfly wing. I've gone ahead and wet the entire wing with clean water, and then I'll drop in some Prussian blue along the edges and then blend it out towards the right. But I'm going to keep on going back and forth between adding more pigment and blending that pigment out to get some nice contrast on the left side of my image. And if you haven't heard about this yet, I am holding a craft retreat in March of 2020, and I'll be teaching 2 4-hour watercoloring classes in Times Square in New York City. It's going to be a really great event. We're going to have a nice swag bag. There's going to be sponsors who are providing product for some of our classes, and it's just going to be a really good, fun, crafty retreat. So I'll leave the link down in the description box below so that you guys can check out all the details on this great event. So here I finished watercoloring this beautiful image from our transformation stamp set. It is so pretty, and it looks so different when you use that electric die cutting machine to cut out this image. And here you can see I've colored it 4 other ways, and you get such different results when you use different color palettes. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video on how to use our SVG cut files and how to better tweak your settings to get cleaner cuts on heavier weight paper. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it weekly. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.